Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Good Tues Newsday. We're going to cover all the good news you need to know about this week. And today, we've got some stories that are updates on previous good news stories or just stories in general. And also some new stuff that's happening, marking some great accomplishments by humanity to help save the planet and stuff like that. This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our news stories 10 to 15 minutes before we started. We have just got some caffeine in our body. We're learning to read all of our stories live on stream. And let's get into those headlines. Today on Good Tues Newsday, Chinese swimmer Yu Zidi, 12, becomes youngest medalist in World Championship history. Everyone was not surprised. And scientists explain why Russia's magnitude 8.8 earthquake didn't trigger a massive tsunami. Scientists tell us the secrets.
And this is Roger from the United States on Good Tues Newsday, where the Ohio woman, even with the key of the repossessed her car, and we're going to remember the valiant police dog.
Coming out of Helsinki, they went a full year without a single traffic death.
More good news. Ethiopia is to plant 700 million trees in a day. Plus, an engineer in Vermont revives old payphones for people who got no comm.
In my culture news, I can't get mad at anyone who tells me I'm a genius. Original Naked Gun director softens response to the reboot.
And it's National Oyster Day, so it's time to get out there and get real shellfish. It's August 5th, 2025 on Before Coffee. I've already got 3 stories for tomorrow.
You already got all the weird stories you need, huh? Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's because they kept popping up. I had been collecting them and emailing them to myself, so I didn't forget them.
Emailing them to yourself.
Yeah, I use all technology, not just new shit. I use everything. I use the pen, like this. Remember these?
Yeah,
things?
yes,
Remember
I know.
here?
All about your poetry writing with the pen, yes. I also still use pen and paper because that's how my brain remembers stuff. Tactilely, not through whatever other method.
I'm gonna have to start doing more of the note taking as my brain. You know, eventually my cheese is going to slip off the cracker, as they say. So
I'm worried more like you won't be able to read your handwriting, and that's going to be the issue. I wrote all these notes, but I can't read them. And maybe you will have to start using a keyboard, because you can at least read typeface.
If I take my time, I have really excellent handwriting. If I take my time, I just never learn to take my time.
Exactly.
I just never don't.
You might want to get a typewriter.
You know, Robin has perfect penmanship. Like she writes perfectly every time. Like I could do that, but I just don't have the. I don't think I can write that good. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. Bonka says nice eye patch. So you got a compliment, I guess.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna roll a second.
It's really inconvenient. But you don't want to look what's under here. It's just a puffy thing, half open puffy.
Some sort of alien creature living underside the iPad.
I can just pretend I'm a pirate today, all week, or whenever I get back to normal, whatever normal is.
Yeah, we're just gonna have like a month-ish of you just wearing, what do you call yourself? One-eyed Clyde. That's where you. This is One-eyed Clyde, actually. Roger's not here. One-eyed Clyde is here this week. Our guest co-anchor while Roger's out sick for the month.
Not to be confused with the part-eyed Clyde.
That's a different guy. Right. Okay, your first segue is sarcasm. So I don't know what you can find sarcastic about this. Now, there's ways to be positively sarcastic. This is coming from Harry Latham Coyle on The Independent about the Chinese swimmer Yu Zidi, which we talked about, I think, even last week, as a run-up to the World Championship. And guess what? She did it. first youngest medalist in World Championship history. At 12, she has become the youngest medalist in the World Aquatics Championship history after earning relay bronze in Singapore. Not a gold, though. Try but get better next time. Don't worry, you've got, 20 more years to get that gold. I don't know how long is a swimmer's career. I have no idea.
Swimmers? Well, yeah. Michael Phelps was swimming into his 30s in the Olympics.
Yeah, so 20-ish years, 32.
I'm sure, though, as girls develop different body parts, though. That's biology.
What body parts? Is she growing another leg? Like, yeah, she gets boobs.
Oh, breakfasts.
They're already there. She's 12. Unless she's a really late bloomer, they're already there. She's already grown, though. I guess I could keep growing. Yeah. No, I think what you really mean is that women have a tendency to grow more fat pockets because we actually need 30% fat to work.
Women are better long distance swimmers. Women are better long distance swimmers.
Well, that's why they can go in cold water, because we have more fat percentages. We need at least 30% or something. I think we can go as low as 10, but you really should be at 30 for all of your endocrine system to work properly.
I'm pretty sure all the long distance swimming records in the world. I'm pretty sure all the long distance swimming records in the world are held by women. Anyway, there's that.
That's what I'm saying. She has plenty of her life to get that gold. The youngster, who will not turn 13 until October, swam in the preliminary rounds of the women's 4x200 meter freestyle relay. Though she did not compete in the final, a quartet of her teammates came home third behind a dominant Australia and United States to earn a bronze medal, in which Yu was entitled for involvement in the heats. So she didn't even swim, but she gets a medal. You know what? Sure. We're celebrating her victory, because she still got a medal at 12. It continues an excellent debut global championship for the swimming starlet, who narrowly missed out in individual medals in the 200-meter butterfly and the 200-meter individual medley. She competes over double the medley distance later in the program. So it hasn't even happened yet, this later race. She could win silver or gold in that. Right. World Aquatics
She was on the relay team.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't a relay, though. This is just like a medley, so she just does whatever. She swims. I don't know what double means. Maybe two people swim? I don't know anything about. I'm sorry. I should have educated myself on the sports of swimming before.
If you're on I know in track and field, if you're on a relay team that gets qualified, even if you just ran in the qualifying heat and you didn't run in a final, you still get a medal if they get a medal in the final.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
But you
that's
helped
exactly
them get
happened
there.
with her.
Yeah, sorry. All right, okay.
I'm just
there was
trying
a 16-year-old.
They don't tell me what a double medley is. I don't know what that means, and they won't tell me.
Well, medley is a different distance.
No, yeah, that's obvious. But what's the double mean? I don't know what the double means.
Probably each swimmer does two different strokes. Like they swim one, and then they swim the next one on the way back. Like you do one half lap and
you do breaststroke and then you switch to backstroke or something. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I don't know anything about sports. I'm sorry, guys. This is why I shouldn't cover sports stories. But even when I Google it, right? Even when I look up what the hell is a double medley, they're just like giving me music and lyrics and songs and I'm like, I don't want no swimming, please, about swimming. Somebody tell me about the sport.
So Google is crap anymore.
No, I'm not using Google. I'm using DuckDuckGo. I'm just using it as a verb. But
oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Using it as a verb.
They're all crap now. They're all just bad. It's fine. Anyways, she is yet to compete in the double medley distance that's happening later in the program. World Aquatics rules say that the competitors have to be 15 or older to compete in the flagship championships unless they meet tough time standards, which a world-class Yu successfully did ahead of the event. So that's why she's even here. We know she's good at swimming, but is she good enough to win medals at a competition? Brent Nowicki, organization's executive director, suggested that they would look at their age rule again to ensure they have the right measures of athletes. I didn't think I'd have this conversation, but now I think we have to go back and say, is this appropriate? He said this week in Singapore. Is this really the right way to go forward? Do we need to do other things, put other guardrails up? Do we allow it under certain conditions? I don't know the answer. Yu is the youngest medalist at a major international competition. Denmark's Inge Sorensen, who won a breaststroke bronze medal in 1936 in Berlin at those famous Olympics that we talked about last week. Damn, that's a long time ago.
We were talking about Jesse.
So I guess it's a easy. I wouldn't say it's an easy record to break, but it's a simpler record to break because all you have to do is be 12 and good at swimming. So they didn't even say how young Inge Sorensen was. They just said she was young. She was the youngest so far to win a bronze medal, but they didn't say how old she was. She was also 12. Okay.
12 was pretty young, man.
Yeah.
Of course, you would never know from the old Soviet nations would just lie about ages.
Well, this wasn't Soviet.
She
was Danish.
I'm saying there's so much.
Oh, you mean there might be children in other teams? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that could be anybody just going, yeah, well, she's only 11. We're going to squeeze her on because it's close enough or whatever.
She's 11 and 9 months. That's basically 12.
We change that 9 to a 0. Yeah! Or whatever. And
yeah.
There you go. There's your birth certificate.
Is that your
Nothing
sarcastic
nefarious about that.
segue?
Yes. Yes, that is my sarcasm. Because that age, and I just remember that. I thought Nadia Comaneci was 11 in 1976. And come to find out she was 14. Why would they lie about that? Were they just trying to say, Soviet machine is so much better than you. We will produce children to beat your grown adults.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all I can think
But of course, there's also sports that are just better when you're smaller, like swimming, right? You have less drag. You have less to go through the water. You're less heavy because you're smaller. And same thing with gymnastics, right? A lot of young kids compete in gymnastics because they're just more limber than an adult.
And humans are going out to swim, which has been proven over and over again.
Yeah,
you don't know how to walk when you're born, but you know how to swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can basically just start from swimming.
When are these baby Olympics starting?
One, and you'll never really have to...
Coochie coo, this way, bring the rattle.
Really soon, as they're changing child labor laws, it won't be long. Johnny's going straight from kindergarten to his
that's exactly what the Singapore director of the competition was saying. Now Wiki, he's like, I get that we should allow people who can achieve great sports feats to compete, but also, don't you worry that some of these children are being pressured into doing this stuff, maybe even being groomed and stuff. I mean, that was famously what happened to the U.S. gymnastics team. The coach was assaulting the entire team for years. That's okay, because they won gold medals, right? So it's all right that they got assaulted all the time.
Michigan State gymnastics coach is in prison for that. Okay, go ahead.
Deserved. Obviously.
He might have killed himself. Might have killed himself even. I don't know. Fuck him. Next story, I guess.
Forget him. Yes, I have another story. We're going to explain why this magnitude 8.8 earthquake didn't cause huge catastrophe like previous lesser strength earthquakes have. Like famously the one 2016 in Japan. Was it 2016? I think it was. Was it 2015? I don't remember. Time is an illusion.
Oh, it was.
This is from ABC News.
I think
this is actually an excerpt or like it's not an excerpt, I would say, but it's the original thing is a video, and that somebody has turned the video into quotations and paraphrases, so that we don't have to just sit here and watch a 3-minute video.
I knew I was still. I was 2011 and tsunami.
Yeah, 2011. I thought I was still in high school when it happened.
Was that?
Yeah. You're correct, Demi Gorge. Thank you. Demi Gorge also said 2011. Okay, but this story is from ABC News, coming from the U.S. West Coast, from a scientist, which they will give me the name of at some point in the story. When a magnitude 8.8 earthquake rocked Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula on last Tuesday, I should say, which was the 29th of July, officials warned that damaging tsunami waves could follow. Instead, the waves that reached Hawaii and the U.S. West Coast proved smaller than initially feared. Despite the earthquake's massive size, tsunami waves that reached Hawaii and the U.S. West Coast shores did not cause any damage, with Hawaii's Governor Josh Green reporting not a wave of consequence. It's kind of a blessing not to be reporting any damage, Green told reporters early on the 30th of July. The minimal impact surprised many, given the earthquake of this magnitude rarely occur, but tsunami expert and Professor Philip Louis of Texas A&M and Cornell University explained that earthquake magnitude alone doesn't determine tsunami size. Not every earthquake will generate a tsunami, Louis told ABC News. It really depends on how the earthquake creates the sea bottom or the sea floor deformation. Ah yes, good old geology. Yu explained that the vertical motion of the seafloor, not the earthquake's raw power, is what matters most in a tsunami formation. Part of the seafloor will go up, part of the seafloor will go down. It's this vertical motion of seafloor which generates a tsunami. Think of when you're going swimming and you're moving your hand up and down, right? You do it from above and below, you make a big splash on the water. But if you go like really down there in the water and wave your hand as hard as possible, you barely even make a splash on the surface, right? If the earth gets high enough that it kind of, creates an air pocket, so to say. I'm explaining this not like a scientist. You make a wave, okay? It makes sense. It makes sense. I'm not a geologist. I wanted to be a geologist, but science is too much school.
It's never too late to do whatever you want.
No, I just mean it's too much school. I don't like school. I like geology, but I don't want to go to school for 8 years to be a geologist. Fuck that. Hell nah.
It's all about rocks.
Yeah. I love rocks, but I don't want to study rocks for 8 years. Anyways, part of the seafloor will go up, part of the seafloor will go down. It's this vertical motion of the seafloor which generates a tsunami, he said. In this case, despite the earthquake's significant magnitude, its rupture pattern didn't create a vertical deformation needed to generate massive waves. According to Liu, ocean measurements showed wave heights of only 10 TO 14 feet, relatively small for an earthquake of this size. I don't know what TO means. Maybe it's a typo. 10 to 2, I think it's 10 to 14 feet. They put 0 instead of O.
Okay.
Is this made by a real person? Are you telling me this article is written by a real person who makes typos? That's crazy. It's really sad when you get excited to see a typo because you think somebody might have actually typed this story. Judith Hubbard, an earthquake scientist and structural geologist, noted the quake occurred about 12 miles deep in a subduction zone, where such depths are typical.
Wow.
The shallow part of the subduction zone is part of that's cold enough for the rocks to slide in earthquakes, Hubbard explains to ABC News. While coastal areas from Alaska to California remained under tsunami advisories on the 30th of July morning, with the warning still in effect for parts of Northern California, the event demonstrated how complex earthquake-tsunami relationships can be. Waves reached Monterey, California at 12:48 a.m., San Francisco by 1:12 a.m., but caused no significant issues. The warning system, however, performed exactly as designed. Wow! The bar is low. Liu praised the forecasting system accuracy in predicting the tsunami's arrival times across the Pacific, even though the wave heights were lower than initially estimated. Hawaiian Airlines and Alaska Airlines resumed flights the same morning on the 30th of July, after temporarily pausing operation due to warnings, making a swift return to normal operations for the seismic event. So, great news for us. We got lucky this time. The earthquake didn't create any vertical movement. I think what happened is kind of they just slid like this, But they didn't bounce. There was no bouncing, The suspension was good overall. We had nobody in LA accidentally had their put their suspension. What do they call the
energy is absorbed by other obstacles.
All the Chicanos who drive around in their high riders or whatever.
The low riders,
sorry. The low riders bouncing. That was probably going to make a tsunami more than this earthquake.
Hydraulics.
Yeah.
The hydraulics probably had more shaking. Yeah, so you're saying it was just so low in the deep floor that there was too many obstructions in the way to absorb the energy of the wave, right?
No. What I'm saying, I think what they're saying here is that the place that got hit by the earthquake, instead of bouncing, it just slid back and forth. So it didn't even bounce. It wasn't even about it being deep, because it was actually a very shallow part of the seafloor, so it could have made a tsunami. But instead of it going vertical, it just went horizontal. So it just slid around down there.
So it's like nature slip and slide underwater.
Yeah, exactly. They just slipped and slide.
I know.
Yeah.
I have nature slip and slide. Sorry, that's the best I can do. I do have I don't want to call it PTSD, but earthquakes. Ever heard earthquake? I want to remember. Yeah, I've been through several. I mean, I lived in California for 7 years.
Yeah.
I know I've been through 4 major earthquakes. I've been through 4 major earthquakes. I mean, ones that they gave names to, you know?
Yeah.
So,
the great.
2 in one day. 2 major earthquakes in one day in California. They were centered in 2 different places. One was a shaker. And I learned this. There's 2 types of earthquakes. There's a shaker. That's one that just shakes you. And you don't know when it's going to stop. And it seems like it's going
it just feels like you're on a dryer or something. You know? It's like, oh, the dryer's going off.
Yeah. So you're shaking and shaking and shaking. And then there's one that happened later in the day, which is all, I don't know what you call it, just a roller. I call it a roller. It just dumps you all at once. And it's
and those are probably the ones that make the tsunamis. I'm not a geologist, but I think those are probably the ones that make the tsunamis, the rolling ones.
So I remember that day we had an earthquake at 7. Robin was I got up and get to the crib, weaving my way to the crib. Finally got to the crib, and we had a water bed. Put her in the water bed. So the water bed. And you can't even get off the water bed because it's a shaker. It won't stop.
Yeah.
10 o'clock. We're all sleeping. It's a Sunday morning. We're sleeping on the bed. All of a sudden, other earthquake, like
like somebody hit the house. Yeah.
Traumatic. Yeah. After that, we just went to the beach because all the power was out everywhere. So it was San Diego. All right.
Let's go to the
next
beach.
Story.
I've been in one earthquake that isn't created man-made, and that was the Maryland one, or I guess technically it was the Virginia one, right?
Yeah, I totally.
But we got the aftershock, and the aftershock. I thought somebody had picked up the house on a forklift. Was moving it. That's what it felt like. It felt like somebody lifted the house and was moving it like down the street. I was like, this feels so weird. I was like, is somebody moving the house? That's literally what my brain was. Like, did somebody just pick the house up by a forklift and start moving it down the street? What's going on? But that realistically, right, that is what's happening. The earth, right? The mantle, or not the mantle, the crust of the earth, right? Is moved. Moving a little bit. Yeah. Getting a little nudge.
Washington Monument was damaged.
Yeah, I remember there was scaffolding on the Washington Monument for like a year or something.
And that was a very, very minor earthquake. And I remember being at work, and I was sitting at work doing something, and everything started shaking. And I said, an earthquake. And I put my head down, went back to what I was doing. I said, wait, I'm in Maryland.
Why is there an earthquake here? It was just the aftershock too. I think the actual earthquake was pretty strong, but we had the aftershock, so we didn't even get the actual earthquake.
Yeah, California barely moved for tremors. She's just like, a tremor. All right, an aftershock. Yeah. So.
Anyways, let's roll our segue before we talk about earthquakes for 15 more minutes. Also, hello, Onlin. Thank you for playing second and your daily elixir, and of course, Desi. Always appreciate you being here and checking in.
Right.
I'm gonna roll the wheel again because we're getting double rolls. I hate getting double rolls. I'll accept like the same roll after a different roll, but like the same roll twice. Yeah. All right, I'll write you a haiku about your stories. I think 2 stories, right?
Haiku. That's what you say to a pigeon when he walks up to you. Haiku. Because he's cooing. Anyway, this is good news from MoneyWise.com has a story. Ohio woman had her Kia repossessed by a dealer, so she took revenge by taking the dealership's name. Now they're fighting in court. Let's do this one. James Havers has
this is good news somehow?
It's great news because you can get even with people who just they unfairly This is a woman named McCreary. McCreary's unusual story began in February 2024 when she visited Taylor Kia of Lima to buy, it doesn't even say what city this is. I don't know why they don't do this for Ohio. Yeah, Lima, Ohio. Of course, I just said Ohio, didn't I?
Typical American saying a random city and being like, oh yeah, you know exactly where that is. No, I don't.
It's in the headline. It was in the headline. I'm just stupid. When she visited Taylor Kia of Lima to buy a 2022 Kia K5, according to court filings, like most car buyers, she signed a thick stack of paperwork, including a binding arbitration clause. They said any disputes related to the purchase would be handled outside the courtroom. She left the lot with a car and a loan provisionally approved by Global Lending Services, but that loan approval didn't stick. The lender decided McCreary's income information wasn't sufficient. The dealership repossessed the Kia while she was at work. Okay, here's your car. Oh wait, you can't have it. We're gonna take it back, and you have no recourse. Okay, so this woman has been wronged. She's been wronged by criminals in the finance department, and don't make no mistake about it, they are criminals. They write shit in small print that you can't friggin' read or decipher. You need a lawyer to read it, and then they take your stuff back after you've made a payment. For many people, that's where the nightmare would end. With a repossessed car and bruised credit report, McCurry started looking into legal options and stumbled on a golden nugget. Taylor Kia of Lima had its trade name registration lapse with the Ohio Secretary of State. She filed
Gotta pay those fees.
Filed for the name herself. That's right. Oh no! The same people who will be like, "You missed the car payment. We're repossessing your car, right?" And then it's like, "You guys don't even pay your freaking licensing fees. Fuck you." Yeah. Then she took the next step, suing the dealership and its parent company for fraud, unjust enrichment, violations of Ohio's Consumer Sales Practices Act. On top of that, she demanded they stop doing business under the name Taylor Kia of Lima because according to the state records, it now belonged to her. You need to change your name, buddy. New sign. At first, the dealership fought back by pointing to the arbitration agreement McCurry had signed. A lower court agreed that with them and tossed her lawsuit, ruling that the dispute should go to arbitration instead of an open court. But the third District Court of Appeals saw it differently. Earlier this month, the court ruled that while the arbitration clause covered the car purchase, it didn't apply to the fight over the dealership's name. Absolutely, they're two separate cases. Why would it even be tied together?
Don't tie them together for sure. You have to do a separate suit for that.
Yeah, because the trademark and trade name rights had nothing to do with the loan at the repossession. I said, why would the judge even be mixing these? This claim is a separate matter that could be pursued independently of other claims in this complaint, the court wrote. This means that McCrary's revenge by paperwork will get its day in court after all.
Woohoo!
Could you pull off a move like
Sweet vengeance.
I guess possibly. While McCrary's case is unusual, is a reminder that businesses have to keep up with their boring paperwork that protects their names, trademarks, and reputations. If they don't, opportunists or even angry customers might step in. But don't expect this to be an easy win for McCrary. The dealership could argue that its long-standing use of the name gives it priority under the trademark law, even if the state-level registration lapsed. Tough shit! Oh, we can repossess your car in a technicality, but we can't have our name claimed on their technicality because we're important and we bribe politicians. That's what this is going to come down to. Because these people go, oh boy, we know somebody in high office that we own. That's usually what it comes down to.
Don't you know I'm a business and without me, the economy would die, so I get to break all the rules.
Yeah, businesses are special because we never
Corporations are people, remember?
Yeah, don't you see we're just trying to scam people? Give us a break. Legal experts say courts are often favor businesses that can prove consistent use of a brand in commerce. Pay your stinking fees. I don't care if they've been using it. You know, I've been living in my house all this time and I didn't pay my mortgage, therefore I should be able to stay in my house. Makes perfect sense to me. Still for now, McCurry has scored an upper hand and the right to keep Taylor Kia of Lima in legal limbo. Screw them. In fact, don't shop there because they're just bitter. What consumers can learn from McCurry's revenge? Check the paperwork. Good luck with that. It's written in small print that you can't read and you can't decipher. Hire a lawyer when you buy our car, is what they're saying. Whether you're buying a car, signing a lease, or starting a business, always know exactly what you're agreeing to. Arbitration clauses can limit your legal options. Public records are public for a reason. State businesses' filings are easy to check online. McCurry's discovery came simply from doing homework. Reputation matters. For businesses, letting registration lapse can open the door for costly and embarrassing disputes. I say screw this dealership, screw the finance company. That should be it for that story. It's funny. that it's funny and it's good news. Good news.
Yeah,
you do have
it's a happy ending. Very happy ending. Of course, Demi Gorge here says what she can do is she can sell the name back for $1 million, $2 million. Hey, you want your branding back? Here you go. Of course, I think people have done that before, and it is considered a crime. Sadly, it is considered a crime to do that explicit. It's, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that's happened to people. Right? They let their website lapse, and then it gets taken over, and then they say, "Yeah, we'll sell you back the website. Give us money." And then
there's a replete with examples of people not registering a website in their own name and somebody grabbing it before they can, and they got to pay that person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're never going to get that website in their own
I think
name.
that stuff has even happened on YouTube, actually, right? Like somebody will. I mean, let's kind of use our channel name as an example. Ali and Raj. There is actually a video game console called the Ali and Raj.
Yes.
And we constantly, when we first started this channel, we constantly got bot comments on our videos being like, review the new Ali and Raj. And I'm like, huh? What are we talking about? Why are these people saying this? Is this Ali and Raj? But I literally had never heard of this console because I'm not really a console gamer, so I don't pay attention to that stuff until this channel started getting comments from bots about it. And I was like, huh? So I looked up Ali and Raj, and unfortunately, maybe we should. Yeah. So it happens to everyone.
Maybe we should issue our own game console.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just create a game console real quick. Or maybe we can get sponsored by Ali and Raj, and then we can just talk about video games all day. Anyways, my haiku for you is: dreams of new travels, shattered glass, hands reach for keys, wheels turn, hopes recede, because I stole her freaking car while she was at work. Man, today's day at work sucked. Oh great, now I can't get home, and I'm stuck here, and I have to ask one of my co-workers for a ride back home. My vehicle got repossessed. Ugh. You got another story for me, right?
You proved your financing, but screw you, we're gonna repo it with whatever. It's just low. It's scum level low. It's like she didn't do it. She was trying to buy a car. Oh, she did, you know? We're gonna talk about for a poor dog.
I think your computer is exploding.
Because I had the sound card.
I don't know. I don't know if you're like have too many things open or. Oh, he's left now. And now he's back. And then he left again.
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Buntingford Memorial. This is from BBC.com. Buntingford Memorial unveiled to valiant police dog Finn. His name is Finn. Finn the dog. So it's a haiku. Katie Prickett has this story. And it's got a picture of a statue of a German bird. A bronze statue has been unveiled in honor of a memory of a police dog who saved his handler's life. German Shepherd Finn suffered near fatal injuries in 2016. Suspect in Stevenage, Police Chief David PC David Wardle. I know what PC stands for. Police Commissioner, Police Captain. Well, PC. Let's call him not politically correct.
I thought we were calling him an NPC, which is like an insult.
No. Let's call him Dave. PC Wardle, now retired, was stabbed, but maintained that without police dog Finn's intervention, he could have been more seriously wounded. A Thin Blue Law Foundation run fundraising campaign raised £40,000 in 72 hours to pay for his statue. It was unveiled in Buntington, Herefordshire on Sunday. It was incredibly humbling.
Oh, you know
when
what
I
it is?
found out
If this
that
is
the
in the
foundation
UK, it's police constable, probably. Because that's what they would say. Constable, a constable.
Police constable.
Yeah.
Oh, please. It was incredibly humbling. I found that my foundation wanted to create a memorial in honor of what was absolutely staggering by the response to the fundraiser I had from the public, Mr. Wardell said in a aristocratic accent. It goes
What
to
is
show
the statue made out
how many
of?
people were touched by Finn's story. I'll get to that. It looks like bronze, probably. When the attacker was only charged with criminal damage, Mr. Wardell campaigned for Finn's law, calling for legal protection for service animals. The legislation was passed in 2019 as the Animal Welfare Bill.
That's such a British thing, man. Oh, you killed my cow. That's destroying property.
Didn't kill him. Did not kill him. Did not kill him. Finn recovered from his injuries and continued working briefly before he died in 2023 at the age of 14. So he got to be 98 in dog years. So
hell yeah.
Although painful, he did not die from the injury. He died at 15 and was unveiled in the second anniversary of his death. The Blue Paw Chair, Cameron Stanbridge, said Finn captured the hearts of the nation. The charity rehabilitates, protects, and celebrates both served and released dogs. Retired police dogs do not receive financial support from the force they served, meaning that their ex-handler, they need to put a comma here, right? And with should never end a thought. That's a preposition. Anyway, meaning their ex-handler or new owner has responsibility for their care and vet bills. That's really shit. Yeah, this dog served her. But you know what? Make the owner pay out of his pocket. Heroic dog. That's awful. Finn was one of the most decorated police dogs in our history. Loyally during his career, but put his life in line and saved Dave during a violent and dangerous incident, Mr. Stanford said. He felt he needed to be remembered and honored for his memorial in his memory. We also hope it'll become a place of reflection and dedication for all police dogs, both past and present. Yet, the 80-kilogram or 176-pound sculpture of Finn was created by specialist animal sculptor Susie Marsh and took 11 months to create. I was delighted and honored to be chosen for this project and feel the result is more well-loved and loved. Story. Give us a haiku for dogs. Or for Finn, the hero dog.
The hero dog who got stabbed, did not die, survived until being 98 years, well, older than that, because I think he got retired and then he died shortly after. And then on the 2-year anniversary, we get our statue to celebrate his, and he got a law passed for him. Right? He got a law passed called Finn's Law, which means that if you stab a police dog, that's not just damaging property, right?
Yeah, it's a crime. Misdemeanor destruction of property or something.
Yeah. Whatever. Giving some human rights to a dog. Anyways, here's my haiku. Noble hound stands tall, guardian of peace and life. Bronze shines in the sun. Of course, there's a lot of dog statues around the world. And one of the most famous ones is the one in Tokyo in Japan. I think it's for Hachiko or something, the dog who stood at the station waiting for his owner to come back or something.
Balto, the dog that brought back.
Yeah, Balto, of course. I think that's in Alaska. No. It's in Central Park. Park.
Is it? Really? That's cool.
Yeah. In the movie Balto, the animated film, you see the actual statue in Central Park, and then she goes, "I'll tell you the story of Balto, the dog that saved an Alaskan town."
Balto the sled dog.
Even though all those other dogs were there too, but Balto gets all the credit, huh? It was a dog team, but he gets the credit, huh?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's like we only talk about LeBron, right? In basketball.
Yeah.
So yeah,
his
whatever.
team won.
No,
it was just him. LeBron was the only one there.
Yeah, team won, but yeah, it was him by himself. It was him. He did it himself. Yeah.
So funny. Your segue is accurate metaphor or simile. and we're going to talk about
Right on.
having no deaths in Helsinki from traffic accidents for a whole year. Have they had traffic accidents? Probably, but have they been fatal? According to this story, no. This is on Politico by Aitor Hernandez Morales. The capital city I'm sorry for this. The capital city is finished with car-related fatalities. Because Helsinki is the capital of Finland. Helsinki hasn't registered a single traffic-related fatality in the past year, municipal officials revealed this week. Although road deaths are on the decline across the EU, great job. With a 3% decrease in 24, hey, even 1% is a positive news story, okay? Accidents with tragic outcomes are still commonplace in metropolitan areas. People are trying to get places and pedestrians are starting to walk places. To go on a full year without one is a remarkable feat for most cities, let alone a European capital. In 23, 7,807 Europeans lost their lives in traffic accidents in EU cities. 55 people died in traffic accidents in Berlin last year, and 9 individuals lost their lives in collisions in Brussels region over the past months. While Helsinki is among the smallest of EU capitals, with a little under 690,000 residents, that's not small, but I get it, right? There's places that have 10 million people living in them, not 600,000. Some 1.5 million people live in and commute through the metropolitan area. So only around 700,000 live there, but there's at least 1.5 million people there at some time during the day. Ronnie that's what name. Ronnie Utriainen, a traffic engineer with the city's Urban Environment Division, told the Finnish press that the achievement was attributable to a lot of factors, but speed limits are one of the most important. Citing data that shows the risk of pedestrian fatality is cut in half by reducing a car's speed of impact from 40 kilometers to 30 kilometers per hour. Let me transfer that to MPH for the Americans out there, because I am not a calculator.
0.6.
Yeah, okay. I'm still not a calculator.
1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers. 1 kilometer equals 0.6 miles.
Okay, but that you still haven't given me an actual...
Well,
just
because
give me, okay, 18 miles per hour is around. So they've reduced it from around 25-ish or whatever to 18 miles per hour, which that's really slow actually for a city, because I know a lot of American cities are just full of highways and in some way speedways, right? Faster lanes, and people are going like 75, but that's usually on the loop, you know? That goes around the city. They're not going through a city going 75. I hope not. City officials imposed a lower limit in most of Helsinki's residential areas in city center in 21. Of course, a lot of European cities are now completely getting rid of city centers as a place where you drive at all. They just make it a big flat place, maybe some trees, some bushes, and it's just a place to walk through, right? It's just a huge area to walk through, and nobody's driving through there. I've even seen some video of Americans who get confused and they don't realize they're not supposed to be driving in the middle of what looks like to them probably a parking lot. It's not a parking lot, it's a pedestrian zone, okay? You're not supposed to drive your car through there. The limits were enforced with 70 new speed cameras and a policing strategy based on the National Vision Zero policy, with the goal of achieving 0 traffic injuries or deaths. It's crazy when you tell people we're going to go for this goal and then actually achieve it. That's amazing. Data collected by Liikenneturva, Finland's traffic safety entity, shows Helsinki's traffic fatalities have been declining ever since. Helsinki's authorities have spent the past 5 years trying to replicate the miracle that first achieved in 2019. I don't think it's a miracle, but okay. I get what they're saying. It's like, it's not possible. Nobody died. Well, we don't count that one guy who had a heart attack in the middle of the road and then got hit by a cyclist. Okay, that doesn't count. When pedestrians or cyclists were killed in automated, they also achieved it in 2019. Nobody was killed or cyclists or pedestrians are killed by automotive collisions. I guess this isn't including like people getting hit by bikes, because I don't know if anyone dies from that, but you can get injured getting knocked off your bike. Ukrainian suggested the mission's success is based on data-driven, long-term mobility policies and urban development strategies that have transformed the once car-centric capital. In many parts of the city, roads have been narrowed and trees have been planted with a deliberate goal of making drivers uncomfortable. The rationale being that complex urban landscape force drivers to move cautiously through populated areas. Oh God, where am I? Are we supposed to be going here? Wait, is this the right spot? Oh, I don't know. Maybe we should stop and turn around. The city has also invested into new pedestrian and cycling infrastructure, including a comprehensive network of cycling paths that span over 1,500 kilometers. Okay, like this, I'm going to be weird here for a second, but this kind of stuff is the reason I moved to Europe. I know people think it's like, oh, you just wanted to escape America or Trump or all that stuff. It was literally, I went to the Netherlands, I was able to get on a bike and just go somewhere without worrying about getting run over. And I was like, I'm crying to this idea, right? It's so amazing to be able to create a network of living which you can walk around safely without worrying about getting it turned into the next pancake by some car who has somewhere to go, obviously. They're in a rush and they don't care about you at all. So at least that's what it felt like in America. Of course, I lived in the country where my house road opened up into a major highway. So, and I have friends who used to bike on the highway, and I thought they were insane. People going like, 60 or something down that highway, and people were biking on the side of the road? Hell nah, not me. But anyways, with a comprehensive network of cycling paths, you're able to feel safer on the road, and also you're separated from traffic so that you feel like you are allowed to be there, right? You're allowed to be on the road. That's boosted its public transportation network as well, with decarbonized and self-driving buses, and received the European Investment Bank funding for a new tram line. I think this, and specifically in Helsinki itself. Ukrainians said the upgrades helped reduce car use, and with it, the number of serious accidents. As statistics shows that between 2003 and 23, the number of traffic-related injuries in the city dropped from 727 to, hear this, 14! 14! In 10 years! That's insanity! But don't tell anybody that this works. Don't tell anybody in Canada or the United States that this does anything, right?
Yeah. It's not going to work in the United States.
No, it's impossible!
Not all things are that transferable. They're just not transferable to the United States.
Yeah, but you can transfer it into cities for sure. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you can transfer it to a lot of places, but it ain't going to become a...
No, I'm not expecting, bumfuck Oklahoma to have a tram system and a bike system and self-driving buses. No, that would be pretty insane. It'd be cool, but I don't see anybody in Oklahoma financing that. But, New York City could do this.
I would say
Chicago could do that.
On the city. Plenty of cities are bike friendly. Seattle,
yeah, I agree with you, but I'm saying they could improve it, right, to this kind of level. That's all.
Yeah.
And it's definitely possible, because I think actually,
America
I follow this YouTuber who lives in the Netherlands, but he's from Canada. It's called Not Just Bikes, and he is an actual, what would you call this? Like an engineer, urban planning engineer or something of that sort. And he was talking about how I think Chicago is actually turning over a new leaf and building all of these kind of systems to make their city more pedestrian and bike friendly, so that, they can also drop their numbers from who knows how many car accidents to way less. I mean, 14 in a year. That's insane. That's one a month, and maybe like there's 2 in 1 month.
I don't know what the bike traffic. What's the bike traffic like in Helsinki? Is it anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we have to go there and get on a bike and see how it goes. Because we biked in Copenhagen. We biked in almost every city we visited except for Paris, I guess. Right?
Yeah, we didn't do Paris. We didn't do Frankfurt either. But we did Hamburg, we did Berlin, we did Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is a great place to go if you want to experience like kind of the end of life. I mean, I'm sure they can still improve, but I would have to say, as a person who's been living in the Netherlands, Copenhagen's bike culture is way better because they actually use hand signals. In the Netherlands, we're kind of just like, just guess what I'm gonna do. It's a little wild. like they stop. They tell you they're about to stop. They get off their bike by putting their hand up. In the Netherlands, they don't do that. Yeah. Dutch people just get off their bike, okay? And they're not gonna tell you to stop. But let me finish the story. Helsinki success is being noted in Brussels, where the European Commission is pressing to curb road fatalities. Earlier this year, Transport Commissioner Apostolis Tsikostas noted most member countries weren't on the track to meet with the EU's 2018 goal of having traffic-related fatalities by 2030. So maybe places like Brussels and the rest of the capital cities and bigger cities in Europe can look at Helsinki's changes and try to implement them themselves. Anyways, say something, or give me a segue, whatever you want to say. I'm done with the story.
Oh, okay. I think it was an accurate metaphor.
Yeah.
I think I'm exhausted, though. Well, I guess it's like any other form of transportation. It's where if we want to ride cows, hey, let's make bike paths for cows. You would have to adapt to that.
Yeah.
That's kind of my metaphor. Yeah,
of course. I mean, and that's why it's really...
gasoline is not going to get cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's really cool that you have people whose entire job is basically looking at cities and going, I'm going to make sure that this city works. It's like people, that's their job. But unfortunately, this is what Not Just Bike says. People who are paid to be engineers get paid for building stuff. Hey, if you build a highway, we're going to give you a lot of money and we're going to pay you, right? We're going to pay you a lot of money to set up an entire highway. So that's why a lot of cities are just highway infested. Because you get paid more if you just build something for a city instead of just say, actually demolish most of this stuff, replacing the bike road. That's not going to make you any money. It's a quick and done finish.
Finland also does things. They also do things like build wildlife overpasses over the highways, so the wildlife doesn't cross in front of you. That's also number one cause of traffic accidents in the United States. Has got to be hitting animals.
Yeah,
got to be.
Oh shit! There's a bunny on the road. Let me swerve into the next car next to me. Yeah.
Or you just hit an animal that's too big for you to hit with your car, and it wrecks your car.
Like the moose that was blocking the hiking path last week.
Deer is number one. Yeah, right. The moose. Yeah, the moose was in no danger. There was no car.
You're in danger if you hit a moose.
Yeah. All right. Next story.
I'm gonna roll my segue, and you're gonna tell me about trees.
Oh, you only want okay.
Yeah, I told you it was a long story, so I couldn't do both stories. Otherwise, I'd be talking for 20 minutes. I already knew I was gonna have a lot of non sequiturs about this story, or tangents, I should say, about this story. Your segue is a non sequitur. Oh, my segue is a non sequitur.
Non sequitur. This is from AP News. Ethiopia to plant 700 million trees starting now. 1, 2.
They've already done 1,000 since we've been starting the show.
That's right. This was updated on July 31st, so it was 5 days ago. Ethiopia launched a national campaign on Thursday of last week to plant 700 million trees in one day as part of an ambitious conservation initiative that aims at planting 50 billion trees by 2026.
That's a whole year.
That's only trees.
The year's almost done. What the hell?
It says by 2026. It doesn't say what day.
Yeah, it could be October 2026.
The reforestation campaign has been a personal project of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed since 2019. Tesfon Gobize, State Minister of the Ethiopian Government Communication Services, told reporters before 6 a.m. local time that some 355 million seedlings had already been planted by 14.9 million Ethiopians. It's like,
wow, that's like a whole population.
That's right. If 14 into 355 goes about 20 sometimes, so it's like 20 some per person. It was not possible to verify the government's figure. Ethiopia has a population of more than 120 million people. Very big.
Are you telling me he didn't ask every single Ethiopian if they planted a tree? He didn't go to Ethiopia and ask every person.
When you're in the Ethiopian government communications and services department, you have to make statements like this. You don't just go, we don't know what's going on. No idea. We have no data. We kicked off this year's one-day Green Legacy planning early this morning. Abai. Let's say Abai. Said in the social media platform X, our goal for the 7th year is 700 million seedlings. Let's achieve it together. Authorities say some 40 billion tree seedlings have been planted since 2019. The target for 2025 is 7.5 billion trees. They have a lot of targets. Abai took power in 2018 as a reformist. He won the Nobel Peace Prize for making peace with neighboring Eritrea. But a war that erupted shortly afterward in the Ethiopian region of Tigray damaged his reputation as a peacemaker. He now faces another rebellious uprising in the Amhara region. Many public offices are closed Thursday to make time for tree planting. Thousands of public servants have been dispatched across the East African nation to help plant seedlings that made available through the official bureaucracy. At dawn, many were seen planting trees at the capital Addis Ababa. At the site of Jafara Bir, dozens of people were involved, including children. Almaz Tadu, a 72-year-old grandmother, brought her grandchildren to a tree planting event she said reunites her with her neighbors. I have come with my mother, and this is my 3rd time planting trees, said 13-year-old student Nathaniel
Repeat offenders.
Wahalu. I dream of seeing a green environment for my country. Another Addis Ababa resident, Ayanawa Asrat, said he has heeded the call for the last 3 years. I came early and have so far planted 15 seedlings. I am very happy to contribute to creating greener areas across Addis, he said. Abai himself Abai, I'm not sure to pronounce his name, was active in Jimma, the largest city in southwestern region of Oromia. Cabinet ministers were sent to other regions to support local officials, but there are critics. Oh no! There's critics. Katessa Hondera, a forest ecologist in Jimma University, told the Associated Press that a noble reforestation initiative was being carried out by non-experts who cannot define conservation objectives regarding site selection and other technical issues. Yeah, they're just planting trees, harem, scarum, and hoping it works. But I guess you're going to find out if you plant enough trees what works and what doesn't work. I can't fault even if they're doing, as this woman says, harem scarum. He was a man. What is it? Katessa? Katessa's a man. Okay, right on.
Yeah, right
he cited
on.
concern. I'm just saying, I thought it was a woman's name. Sounded woman. He cited a concern over mixing exotic species with indigenous ones and the apparent failure to report the survival rate of seedlings planted over the years. He's also doubted it was possible to plant 700 million seedlings in one day. Planting 700 million seedlings on day is the participation of about 35 million people, each planting 20 seedlings, which is practically impossible. How is that practically impossible? I can plant 20 seedlings, and I'm one person. How is that practically impossible? All right. Sounds like somebody just a naysayer that wants to crap all over this. I get why they're like, well, you need the biology behind it. You probably need some animals too. Something to that needs these trees. That these trees are required. But it's a noble gesture anyway. Plant enough trees and enough of them will live. You hope. Where's your haiku or whatever it was?
It's a non sequitur, but nice guess, I guess.
Not sequitur. Yeah, I lose track. I don't write this stuff down. That was it.
I mean, this reminds me of that.
Trees, and
this
more.
reminds me of this map you can see, which it shows the creation of carbon dioxide and then the decreation or the sucking of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. And if you look over the Amazon, that's where it happens. That's where all of it gets cleaned out and then turned into oxygen. So there is at least some science to planting more trees can do something. And I Africa is even closer to Europe in some. Well, no, maybe not. I think maybe the Amazon and Ethiopia are about the same distance away from Europe. But the more clean forest that can just suck all the carbon dioxide out of the air, the better. That's what I say. And also, it helps protect against erosion, air erosion, water erosion, because you got all those roots in the ground. As the world is going to get warmer and hotter. I know Ethiopia isn't already the tropical paradise it wants to be, so... It is a coastal... Yeah. It is a coastal country.
Yeah, and it's probably driven more by desire and want than it is by science, but heck, they'll probably get something accomplished. At least they're planting trees, not cutting them down. Even though I'm sure they're cutting them down, too. Next story...
Oh, you have another story?
AP News! Okay. Yes. This is a good story from Vermont. Engineer buys old payphone for free, used in rural Vermont. This is from AP. Amanda Swinhart. Turnbridge, Vermont. Electrical engineer by trade, Patrick Schlott. Hours during new and old technology. But until he found himself living in rural Vermont, that he realized his penchant for repairing old payphones could provide a public service. I realized, wow, there's no cell service for 10 miles or 6 kilometers in either direction. The community could really benefit from something like this. Schlott, a full-time engineer in electrical airplane manufacturing company, Beta Technology, decided to approach the owners of his local general install old payphones around town and make them free for public use. After explaining that there would be no cost to the host, North Turnbridge General Store owners Mike and Lois let Schlott install his first phone outside the store. Everyone is pretty surprised, and they're like, is that a real payphone? Does it really work? And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't cost you any money now, said store owner Mike Gross. We've had people use it that broke down. It's a great thing because service is so spotty in Vermont. The first free public phone installation was Schlott's idea, but he said the other 2 locations, the Latham Library in Thetford and inside the informational booth at Randolph off Interstate 89, came from community members requesting the service. All other phones so far have been people reaching out, which is pretty cool. Schlott buys the old payphones, which can range in cost from $100 to $500 in flea markets from internet listings or at auction, and fixes them up in his basement workshop. All that's needed to install one of his phones is an internet connection. No coins necessary. Basically, there's a small piece of equipment that converts the internet telephone line to an analog line that these phones can operate on. Most people know modem is. I like the way he just explains what a modem, nobody knows. Hey, that's interesting. Along with converting the costs, which are about $2 to $3 a month for each phone line, and less than $5 a month for calls, Schlott acts as the operator for each phone and can field or transfer calls, helping users when needed. If the user dials 0, the phone will ring at Schlott's personal cell phone, though he uses an app to keep his number private. So far, the phone in Latham Library location has seen the most use. According to Schlott, 370 calls have been made since the phone was installed 5 months ago, filling a need for students without cell phones to call their parents for after-school pickups. Hannah McLean is a regular at the North Turnbridge General Store, and she finds comfort in knowing that the phone is there whenever her 16-year-old daughter might need it. It does make me feel safer if the kids are out and about, and if they had an emergency to keep up this way, they could stop and use it. I think these are a great service, she said. Schlott is seeing increased interest in the service with another free phone install in the works for Brownell Library in Essex. Sounds like a British town, doesn't it? But it's Vermont. For now, he plans to continue covering the costs associated with each phone, but notice that it may change as the project scales. Oh boy. It's gonna get expensive, don't tell me. It's cool to see something retro that has old school appeal, but also works to actually hear it ring, to pick up and have a dial tone. I think there's a real power in that, and I don't think it should end up being in a landfill. There should be recycled and put to good use. There's somebody who just don't sit around waiting for things to improve. He does something about it. Look at that. No shit. You can use old stuff and repurpose it for everything you want to repurpose it to. It can do its old job just as good as it used to. I can't wait for the phone company to find out that they're giving these lines away for $5 and raise their rates to like $700 a month.
Yep.
Can't wait.
We can make more money off of this?
Yep. Oh, shit. Free Boy we installed 60 years ago. We can still make money off of. Wow. Anyway, there's your starting.
A non sequitur, this actually reminds me of a story about in the UK, right? You also have telephone booths that are not used for anything. So there was a man who went around and put defibrilators. I can't say the word. For heart attacks, you know.
Defibrillators?
Yeah, those things. I can't say the word. I think I'm having a stroke. Defibrillators inside of the phone booths in the UK in small towns and stuff. So, and they still have the signal over them saying, you know, there's one in here. So instead of a phone, you can go in there and say, hey! And actually does save lives to have the access to those nearby. Yeah. So, yeah. Why tear stuff down and rebuild a new thing where you can just reuse an old thing? I agree with that completely. I throw things away, but I try to make sure I've gotten all the use out of it first before I throw it away, you know? I don't really like having a lot of items, but I don't want to say I'm a hoarder, because I know a hoarder. It's my mother.
Not completely. She does throw stuff away.
There's stuff in there that I'm just like, just throw this away. We don't need this. Like that old Halloween wig behind you. We don't need that anymore. Why do we own that since 1994? A Halloween wig behind you. I swear we've had that since I've been alive.
It is what it is.
It is what it
right
is.
On, man.
Anyways, your segue is alliteration headline for my culture segment. Now, for anybody who's paying attention to comedy movie news or reboot news or film news, Naked Gun has been rebooted with Liam Neeson as the main character instead of Leslie Nielsen. And the original creator of Naked Gun, David Zucker, seemed to have a very non-thinking reaction to it, right? He was very just like instant, no filter, I don't like this. But now he's come back and softened his response after, I think, probably seeing the film. And this is what he has to say. David Zucker, who co-created the franchise, was initially skeptical about the new Liam Neeson installment, but now says he's excited amid positive reviews and strong takes. He co-created the Police Squad and Naked Gun franchises and directed the first two films starring Leslie Nielsen. Has reacted to the warm critical reception and healthy box office takings of the reboot starring Liam Neeson. Zucker had previously expressed skepticism and even anger about the direction of the new film appeared to be taking, and the decision by the studio to not include him in the process. But speaking to Hollywood Reporter in a wake of a strong ticket sales and robust reviews from Akiva Schaffer reboot, Zucker appeared more conciliatory. People are all liking it, which is great, he said. I like the director and I just couldn't wish him more well. I texted him already saying, I hear the reviews are great and it's tracking well. He was very happy to hear from me and we'll probably get together later in the month when the smoke clears. He continued, I'm excited about it because it shows that there's a strong market for comedy in movie theaters and a spoof in particular. Last year the director was less enthusiastic, saying of the reboot, Paramount is just going ahead and doing it and they haven't involved me. They're just gonna do what they want. That's Hollywood. Zucker and the franchise's other co-creators, including his brothers Jerry Zucker, had previously pitched a fourth installment script focusing on the 30-something son of the main character Frank Drebin, but it was rejected by the studio. We were not excited about having the franchise given to other people, he continued. They have not contacted me to make a cameo or be involved in the writing, whether or not they're going to do a good job with it. This kind of spoof, I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's not easy. Earlier this year, Zucker reiterated his disapproval, saying he was not planning on seeing the Naked Gun remake. I regret having seen the trailer for it, he continued, for comparing the promo to the 2007 Brazilian pornographic film. It's like watching Two Girls, One Cup. I can't unsee it. That is a appalling comparison. Do not look that up. If you don't know what Two Girls, One Cup is, don't. Just let it go. Leave it alone. Despite his turnaround, Zucker reiterated his aversion to seeing the film to Hollywood Reporter, but said that the team behind it had reached out to him before its release. I'm not going to see it, but I don't see any of the sequels that were my material done by other people, and that's fine. I've told Akiva that I have no intention to see it, he said. So he only likes watching his own films, a bit narcissistic, self-centered. He actually invited me to come see an early cut of it, but I told him there's nothing I can do to help, because it really isn't what I would have done. That's not to say that he didn't actually end up doing a good movie, but I don't think I could help with it. Zucker added that producer Seth MacFarlane had phoned him shortly after the script had been completed. He spent the first 10 minutes telling me how much he loved Airplane, The Naked Gun, and Top Secret, said Zucker. I can't get mad at anyone who will tell me what a genius I am. Now he's just all ego. That was a good conversation. I was glad that Seth called, but I told him politely, good luck, but I can't put my name on this. But everything happens for a reason. The new Naked Gun film stars Neeson as Frank Drebin Jr. alongside Pamela Anderson and Danny Houston. In his 4-star review, The Guardian's Peter Bradshaw praised it as amiably ridiculous, refreshingly shallow, entirely pointless, and guilelessly crass, which is perfect for a Naked Gun film. Those are all the right descriptors for a Naked Gun film. And of course, it is fun to see Liam Neeson in a comedy role because he's always, of course, famous for Schindler's List, Taken, and of course Star Wars, where he plays a pretty serious, straight guy. He's not making jokes.
He has a very special skill.
Yeah.
He is a very special skill. Yes, he does.
Protecting his daughter from sex trafficking in Paris, I believe, is the plot of the first film anyways. But then they made 4 or 5 other films after that. Like, how many times do people have to attack his loved ones? I think I saw the 3rd one. That's the last one I ever saw. Like, his whole family gets abducted or something for some reason. I don't know what's going on in that film series. Maybe I'll watch it again at some time. But yeah, I said this before the show started, but I've never seen Naked Gun, the original or this one, so I guess you would need to watch it, and then or I can still watch both, and I can go, you know what, I agree, or it sucks.
Naked Gun, as far as Zucker and and Abrams movies go, their first was Kentucky Fried Movie, which is obviously low budget. Their next one was Airplane, which was a big hit, and they made Airplane 2, which was not as big a hit. But then they made Naked Gun, which really took off because they recycled that Leslie Nielsen character. But the one that you should see is the one with you just mentioned, the one with Val Kilmer. It's called Top Secret. That one is really funny, and it doesn't get enough views. It's a secret agent.
A diamond in the rough.
Right, with all the same buffoonery as the others.
Yeah. Same comedy style. The literal comedy. Straight man taking everything.
Take everything literal. Hospital? What is it? It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now. Classic comedy continues creating chaotic characters.
Nice. Woo! It's also very nice to bring comedy into more modern times, right? Because sometimes some of those jokes are referencing things that nobody even knows what that is anymore, What is that? Nobody knows. It's not used anymore.
Yeah. Watch the original Naked Gun. Watch Naked Gun second, and maybe skip the 3rd one. They just get an honor after that.
Just stop there.
Leslie Nielsen made a whole bunch of spoof movies. He made a bunch of spoof movies after that about, Dracula. There's one of those.
Yeah.
The scary movie franchise took over for that one. The scary movie franchises are just, okay. This movie makes absolutely no sense.
We're just completely losing it now. Also, Demigorge, Liam Neeson is in Star Wars. He was in Phantom Menace. He played Qui-Gon Jinn, my favorite Jedi of all time. So, yes, Liam Neeson was in Star Wars. I know you probably don't remember, but he was in Episode 1, Phantom Menace. He dies. Sorry, spoiler. So he's not in the rest of them, which, fair enough. He's not in the rest of the film, so forget about him. But
he's Inspector Drebin's son. I like the what is it? The trailer for the movie where everybody in the new movie is looking at a picture of their old. Oh, my dad was a police sergeant. My dad was this, and then you see Nordberg's kid looking at a picture of OJ, going, I don't remember him. O.J. Simpson famously played Nordberg, the guy who was just a slapstick getting violence done to him.
Yeah. and who knew he deserved it?
Movies. Nordberg. Yeah, who knew he was a double murderer? It wasn't at the time. That came later.
Yeah, to be fair.
Now,
to be fair.
11.
He was just a football player, a famous football player. That's what he was at the time of the film.
OJ was the Michael Jordan on his day. He was on all the commercials. He was
sports
big.
Star.
And then he retired, went to his head. He figured, I can do what I want. And he basically got away with murder, so can't blame him. He did get away with it. He can get what he wanted. Yeah. All right, so this ain't history, I guess, and spin the wheel.
Mixed metaphor. My favorite.
Right, mixed metaphor. We go back to the year 1100. Henry the First was crowned King of England, and I think they had 7 more Henrys. I don't think there's been a Henry since the Henry VIII, because that's kind of a cursed name, perhaps, right? I'm Henry the First. I am.
Well, he was also from a different family. If I remember correctly, the Henry was from the Tudors. And then Victoria was actually from the German family, so it was a totally different family.
Hanovers, yeah. Henry, the Tudor line was stopped by James the First. And that was the Stuart line. So yeah. And then they went to the Hanover line after that. And they changed their name from Hanover to Windsor because they didn't want to be associated with being German.
And Nazis, even though the crown prince at the time was totally hanging out with Hitler. Whoops.
Wasn't Henry I might have been even a Plantagenet, right? I'm not even sure. It was 1100. It was a long damn time ago. This is before Longshanks, for crying out loud. In 1772, on this day, Russia, Prussia, and Austria got together and say, you know what, Poland? Screw you! We're going to divide you up. Yeah, that's right. They signed a treaty creating the first partition of Poland, depriving that country of approximately half its population, almost 1/3 of the planet. And you wonder why Poland has attitude. Huh?
Yeah, and you wonder why.
1864.
The key word there is the first partition, too. There's been multiple,
Yeah. The first one we thought of this year, probably. Anyway, 1864. 1864 on this day, during the Battle of Mobile Bay, which is in Alabama, Union Admiral David Farragut sealed off the port of Mobile, Alabama from Confederate blockade runners. Of course, Farragut famously said, damn the torpedoes, this is war, or something like that. Oh, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. That's what he said. Damn the torpedoes, because he was in a submarine. He's like, okay, we're in a submarine. And then he get hit by a submarine, by a torpedo. No, he didn't. Farragut, one of the naval heroes of the Civil War. David Farragut. I never knew his first name until just now. 1914 in Cleveland, Ohio, the first electric traffic light was installed. It featured red and green lights, and soon after, everybody started learning the real use for their horn. It's green. It's green. It turned green. Wait, 3 seconds ago. How come you're not on your gas yet? 1926. In his last public stunt, American magician Harry Houdini stayed in an underwater airtight coffin for some 90 minutes. He bested rival magician Raman Bey's time of 1 hour. Well, it was airtight. There was probably plenty of air in there. So 90 minutes doesn't seem like a super long time, but he was probably tied up and stuff, and he had to get out of his chains. Harry Houdini could dislocate all of his joints, so he had that special skill.
It's called hypermobility.
He died from his stupid bet he used to make with people. He used to let people punch him in the stomach as hard as they could, and They'd pay him like $10. Well, some guy just said, hey, I'm just going to punch Harry Houdini in the stomach when he's not even ready for it. And he ended up getting internal bleeding and dying from that. So some asshole
committed murder, really.
Yeah, should have been thrown in jail for assault. 1930, U.S. astronaut Neil Armstrong was born in Wapakoneta, Ohio. He was the first man to set foot on the moon. So happy birthday to Neil Armstrong. 1957, Dick Clark's American Bandstand, a TV show in which performers lip sync their latest songs and sometimes actually sang. Too many cases of that. The teenage audience danced and began airing nationally. And they also rated the songs. They would rate them. I go, oh, it has a good beat and you can dance to it, is the number one thing they would say about every song. Well, it has a good beat and you can dance to it, so I'll give it an 8. Next song. It has a good beat and you can dance to it, so I'll give you a 7. Yeah. Very, very, very profound critiques. 1963, the United States, the Soviet Union, and the United Kingdom signed the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty in Moscow. Nuclear tests continued for the next year or so, and they found atmospheric tests, let's say. Atmospheric tests were discontinued in 1964, and the ridiculous spread of a strontium-90 stopped almost completely. 1964, a year later, on this day, U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson concocted a reason to go to Vietnam and put more troops in there. He put the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution before Congress. It served as a principal constitutional authorization for the subsequent vast escalation of United States military involvement in the Vietnam War. Which, why were we there? The domino theory. The domino theory. If Vietnam goes communist, then who's next? Somebody gonna go communist. We gotta protect our interests. And again, hundreds of thousands of people died again for no damn reason. Gross incompetence and basically just, hey, we're making them defense contractors rich. That's something, right? 1981, speaking of people that made defense contractors rich, Ronald Reagan fired 11,000 air traffic controllers who were on strike because Ronald Reagan is a fascist pile of shit. 2010, 33 workers became trapped after a mine in the Atacama Desert of Chile collapsed, and the resulting rescue took 69 days, attracting international attention. So we remember that Chile, there's actually songs made about it. They actually rescued all of them. So not all mining disasters end with everybody dying, being trapped underground. 2011, Thai businesswoman and politician Yingluck Shinawatra was elected Prime Minister of Thailand, becoming the first woman to hold that post. And how long she held a post, I have no idea, but she actually had an office too, not just a post. That's a joke. 2019 continued anti-government protests and general strike brought Hong Kong to a near standstill. So 6 years ago, Hong Kong going on strike against their Chinese
oppressors
government. Among the demonstrations, the demonstrators' demands were universal suffrage. Suffrage sounds like you're suffering, but it's actually voting. And investigations into allegations of police brutality. I'm sure they got absolutely nothing for that protest, but lip service. 2019, American writer Toni Morrison. Oh, I sent you a video. Hopefully you got it. Toni Morrison died at the age of 88. Who earned a Nobel Prize for Literature in 1993 for novels that examine the Black experience, particularly Black female experience in the Black community. I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. 2024, Sheikh Hasina Wajid, Bangladesh's first 5-term prime minister, fled the country amid mass protests against her government. This is 1 year ago. Muhammad Yunus, a Nobel laureate, was named the country's interim leader. So 1 year of that we can look back on. And our featured event is 1960, 65 years ago. Independence declared by Upper Volta. Upper Volta, now it's called Burkina Faso, which means land of incorruptible people. Well, you better live up to that one, boy. There better be some bunch of incorruptible people in your country, because that's the name of your country. A landlocked country in Western Africa. Anyway, Upper Volta proclaimed its independence this day from France. The French Empire shrunk by one Upper Volta. Our feature biography is Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe died on this day, August 5th, 1962, at the age of 36. In Los Angeles, she was found naked in her bed. And Bobby Kennedy, one of the last people to visit her. Suspicious circumstances all around when the Kennedys are involved. Isn't that just the strangest family in American history, the Kennedys? She was born in Los Angeles and died in Los Angeles. So Marilyn Monroe, of course, born Norma Jean Baker, changed her name to Marilyn Monroe, married a bunch of celebrities and died by the age of 36. So it's a sad day. This is the day she was found. Or the day after was probably the day she was found. 1862, Joseph Merrick was born. He's a British medical patient. I don't know how patient he was. Maybe we'll find out when we look it up. In 1906, John Huston was born, American director, writer, and actor. Neil Armstrong we covered. It's Patrick Ewing's 63rd birthday. He was born in 1962, American basketball player. In 1968, Marine Le Pen. Marine Le Pen's birthday. French politician. She is turning 57. Happy birthday, Marine Le Pen. National Day calendar. What days are? It's National Underwear Day. And if you're wearing underwear, it's your day. National Work Like a Dog Day. National Work Like a Dog, and remember of our fine four-legged
Finn's Law.
National Oyster. It's Finn. It's Finn's Day. Yeah. Because he did his job to the utmost of his ability.
But it basically means laying down on your desk and taking a nap. That's Work Like a Dog Day. Take it down.
That's what I'm going to do as soon as the show's over. And it's National Night Out Day. So on Monday, you want to go. It says the first Tuesday, so it's Tuesday. I thought it was Monday for some damn reason. It's the first Tuesday in August is National Night Out Day. Night out, I'm not sure what that means. Why would you go out on a Tuesday? Maybe they got specials. And it's National Oyster Day. So that's everything for August 5th. The whatever you want to call it, mispronunciation, spins of the wheel, one-eyed readings, not so many technical glitches today, I hope. For everything, August 5th, 2025 on Before Oysters, as some people call them. They can't say oysters, they say oyster. I want some oysters.
I've got some 3 mixed metaphors for you. This one's about Vietnam. Right. They're walking on eggshells in a minefield. Next one is about Marilyn Monroe. She's been thrown to the wolves in the deep end. And this is about oysters. The world is your clam.
Ha The world is your clam, an inaccurate metaphor about oysters. Right?
Yeah. It's also still World Breastfeeding Week, so make sure you protect those people who breastfeed, because that is how babies get nutrients. Don't feel shame for breastfeeding, and if anyone makes you feel shame, sock them in the mouth. That is my God! That is my not legal advice for somebody who says, "Can you go away and stop breastfeeding your child in front of me?" You know what you can do? You can leave. Actually, if you don't want to see breastfeeding, you can turn around. You can look over there. You know. You
can always just turn your head.
No, my God, you must not exist in my presence.
Big children, it's a nipple. Oh my God!
We all have nipples when we wake up and look in the mirror. Anyways, that is the end of our show. That's our Good Tues Newsday. I hope you feel positively influenced. Continue and have a good day if it's still daytime for you. If it's evening for you, well, I hope you have good dreams about all the good things that have been happening this weekend. We'll see you tomorrow for Wacky and Weird Wednesday. We're going to cover all the weird and wacky news that's been happening since last week and this week. So make sure you are following, you're subscribed, turn on those notifications. And here is our mic drop moment.
There is no such thing as race. No.
Yep, it's made up.
Really?
There's just
Just
a
like
human
time
race.
and money.
Scientifically, anthropologically, racism is a
If you
construct, a social construct.
peel my skin off, we all look
And
the
it has
same.
benefits. It has money can be made off of it.
The sad thing is it's visual,
Don't
right?
like
I can tell you have
themselves
different
and feel
skin
better
color.
because
It's
of
a
it.
wedge.
It
It's
can
a toddler
describe certain
level
kinds
of
behavior
understanding.
that are wrong or misleading. So it has a social function. Racism
You
Yeah.
have to
But
be taught
race-
to hate.
can only be defined as a human being.
If the racist white person, I don't mean the person who is examining his consciousness and so on,
Yeah.
doesn't understand that he or she is also a race. It's also constructed. It's
I'm
also
normal. Yeah.
made. And it also
That
has
I'm
some kind of
default human.
serviceability. But
What
when
do you
you
mean?
take it away, I take your
Of course,
race
I
away,
have experienced
and
this
there
as a
you are, all
biracial
strung out,
person.
and all you got is your little self. And what is that?
Well, everybody's
What are you
biracial, if you
without
want to put it that
racism?
way.
Yeah, but there's
Are you
people
good?
who are like, you're not
It's
Mexican
still
because of this, you're not
still
white
smart.
because of this,
You
and you
still
can't
like
get
yourself.
accepted
If
by
you can only
either
be tall
social groupings.
because
or-
somebody's on their knees, then you have a serious problem. And my feeling
But
is
you can be
white people
Jewish by race, but not
have a
Jewish
very,
as religion.
very
Yeah.
In other words.
problem. And they
But that's called
should stop
racializing
Depends on
a
how-
religion,
thinking
right?
about what they can
If
do.
you're Arabic, you
Somebody
must
wants
be
to
Take
Muslim,
you out of it.
You don't think you will
which
ever
is not how that
change
works
and
at all.
write books that incorporate white lives into them substantially?
I have done.
In a substantial
Paradise.
way?
You can't understand how powerfully racist that question is, can you? Because you could never ask a white author.
And a woman does
We're
not
not
even
gonna
understand
write
her
about black people.
question's complete horse shit.
Yeah.
Whether he did
You
or
never
not.
ask a white
And she
author out
did
there's
or
no
not.
black people in her book.
Even the
Never, ever,
inquiry
ever see a white author
comes
ask
from
for
a
having
position.
black people.
How hard was it for you to create a Scottish
And being
character in
used
your
to being
book?
in the same
Never.
team,
No,
used
that's
to being
never
in the
asked.
center.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.